I have a house. I'm sitting right here in front of it. I own this house in my name, and I was homeless 7 years ago. It's a hot tub sitting right next to my car. I'm in my dream car. It's a Mercedes. So how I do that, I have this journal that I use. I call this my manifestation journal. But it's not just about that. It's about getting your heart and your soul where you need to be to accept these goals, these dreams, these desires. You could want something all day long. You could journal, you could write it down, you could tell people. But if you aren't ready to accept it in any shape or form that it comes, then you're not going to receive it. So what I mean by that is sometimes if you say, oh, I manifest my dream house, it's going to take some freaking work to get that dream house. You might have to quit your job. You might have to leave your coworkers, your friends, your family. You might have to move across the country to get to that. But the first thing you got to do is set those goals and intentions. So for example, I always had this dream house that I wanted. In my mind, I had the visions of the kitchen, how I wanted it to look, how many bedrooms. I had an old farmhouse look, but I wanted all the new amenities. And I had no idea how I would get this dream house, but I would just journal it, write it, dream it, envision it, and believe that it would happen. And it did happen, but not in the way that I would dream. I was married, but I ended up getting the house fully when I got divorced. This was never a plan, but that's how it worked out. And I had to go through the pain of marrying somebody, falling in love, getting divorced after abuse, and now living without that person that I thought would be forever. So you have to be ready to accept whatever comes. The car, I had always envisioned a Tesla. I wanted a Tesla for years. I journaled, I wrote a Tesla. But when I went to get in my Tesla, I got in it and I hated it. I didn't like how it drove. I didn't like the way it felt. And I'm sitting there ready to put my money on a Tesla. And it's what I've envisioned and dreamed all this time. And then here I am, not ready for it. And then somebody came in. They're like, I know her. She's a friend of mine. He happened to be the owner of the dealership. We had met a couple times. And he said, my dad is selling a car I think you'll like. And I got in that car, and it's the car I'm sitting in today. It's a Mercedes GLA 250. I absolutely loved it the second I got in it. And it was cheaper than the Tesla that I thought was my dream car. So you have to be ready to manifest and accept whatever comes your way. So the other thing is, whatever your dreams are, they can't just be ego related. If it's ego related, you're going to go through hell. And you're going to learn about yourself before you actually achieve that goal or that dream. And that dream might change. But there's other things, like if there's specific people in your life that you just feel really connected to, speakers or people around the world that you've been inspired by, authors, musicians. For a while, I was really into a band. I was into a band called Casting Crowns, and I wanted to meet them, and sure enough I met them, and they were the first band that I ever went to a concert to, and they gave me free tickets, and it was super cool because they wrote it all down here and I met them. So just writing those goals down, believing that they're possible, is another thing. Visualize. I love to visualize exact situations, and not everybody likes to do this. I was a big daydreamer growing up. So the more you visualize details and write those details down and believe that it's possible, they can happen. I've visualized myself meeting specific people. I walked up to them. They were wearing this color of outfit. Or one was this girl, this author that inspired me for traveling to Italy. I envisioned myself walking up to her and we shared gelato together in Italy. I met her, I drew her a painting of her book, or I painted a painting of her book, gave her that painting, and when I met her was actually at a book signing, and she had free gelato for everybody. So we were eating gelato when I met her, and we got a picture in a Polaroid, and it was just the coolest thing. And the cool thing about these kind of dreams and manifesting your dreams is you bring other people along on the journey. So that's the other thing I would say, like, part is don't keep it to yourself. Once you've dreamed or envisioned something, tell people. More often than not, other people are going to be the ones that bring that dream to fruition. So when I was homeless, I also didn't have a car. And I was going to this prayer group, and I was telling people, like, I need a car, but I'm broke, I'm homeless, I'm living in a studio room that's like a morgue at the place I volunteer. It was a refuge center for women. It was really not great. No heat, no air conditioning. There was a mattress. I need a car, but I can't afford it. I've saved up like $500 of tip money people gifted me, but I don't know how to get it. So I'll pray about it. I wrote it down. In my journal here, I wrote down exactly the kind of car I felt I needed. I wrote details. Let me find it. All right, here it is. I said my car is bigger. Said it has plenty of space. It has automatic windows because I grew up with those like crank windows. I didn't want that. It has AC, good mileage, good engine, and God surprised me. And I wrote that down with the dates and timestamp here. And then I was just telling everybody, I don't know how, but God's going to surprise me with a car. I had this dream. I have this vision. I wrote it down. And I don't know if I'm going to save the money for it. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. I kid you not, I was gifted a car. A whole group of people came together and put their money together and gifted me that car. And that car allowed me to get a job and get out of that situation I was in. And the cool thing about when you let other people in on your dreams, they get to see the power of those dreams and the manifestation, and they get to believe in dreams from themselves. And that's when you can do so much more to help more people around the world. And that's the other thing about when you're manifesting. Make your dreams not about you. If you're looking for a house, think of it as a house to share with other people. Dream and envision a house filled with people that you're sharing with. Or maybe you're not sharing it, but you're using it as a safe, sacred space to create or become better so you can share yourself with other people and become a better person. Or your car. I always envisioned I wanted a bigger car so that people could sit in the back if I needed and I could give them rides, because I depended on people giving me rides for so freaking long. And the cool thing is, I was able to do that. I've been able to help so many people with this car and give them rides. I've given kids rides. I was an Uber driver for a little bit, and the amount of people that were amazed and just so grateful for a ride in this car. Envision sharing with other people and having them be part of that dream. The hot tub that's right next to me, I want a big hot tub because I want to invite people over and I want them to feel comfortable in my home and enjoy sitting in my backyard and having maybe a glass of wine in the hot tub and talk about their dreams. Okay, and then I told everyone, when I get my hot tub, you're invited over to my house. Okay, we're gonna have a party at my house. We're gonna have a hot tub. And so many people laughed at me. They're like, how are you gonna get a hot tub? Because they know my situation. And I was like, I don't know, but it's gonna happen. And lo and behold, some guy on Facebook, I messaged him. He said he had a hot tub, but he wanted the spot for parking. And he literally drove it over an hour to my house. And it's sitting right here. And it's a huge hot tub. I gotta get it hooked up still, but that's just the next thing. My neighbor's gonna help me with that apparently. So I just told him, I was like, somebody give me a hot tub. Do you know somebody that can help me hook it up? And he's like, I actually do. So it's just envision doing it with other people. So the dreams aren't about yourself. They're not just ego related. And you have to be open to receiving them in any way possible. Write them down, believe it can happen, and then do the work, take the action. The other thing is envision the emotion you feel when it happens. Live in that moment like it happened and write that down. I loved meeting so-and-so. They were so kind. I enjoyed the moment. The air was fresh and clean. Something like that. Envision the actual moment. And then whenever you think about that moment or pray about that moment, accept it. Be grateful for it. Okay, be grateful for it already happening. And not everything will happen, or maybe not on the timeline you have. I'm so grateful that in 1 month I have my car. But it took 2 months, and that's okay. But I believed that that could happen, and the 2 months was actually better for me in the long run. Okay, so however it works out is actually going to be better for you. But it's okay to believe and accept that, because you're building that manifestation muscle. You're building that muscle of belief that this can happen. Because right now, if you're manifesting negative things, it's because you believe that's what you deserve. So believe you deserve something better. Because you manifest everything going on in your life. Even the negative. Even the bad things, somehow you manifested it down the long road. Whether it was a deep internal value that you believe about yourself, or something somebody spoke over to you that you just accepted. So change it. Go in and analyze, what am I believing about myself or about things in my life that is manifesting to my reality right now? Because you have the power to change that. So it's not always an easy journey, and right now I have some crazy negative things that have been in my life, but I'm realizing and taking ownership. It is because of me. It's what I believed and accepted and let continue to be in my thought processes. This video even is an example. I have believed that I wasn't good enough to share what I've learned on YouTube. I have believed in the past that nobody wants to hear what I have to say, so then I just never posted videos. And then nobody's ever going to want to hear what I have to say because there's nothing for me to say. I believe now that what I'm sharing with you right now is something that you or someone you know needs to hear. So if it's not you, share it with somebody you know that might need to hear this. And if it is encouraging you, let me know. I want to speak on stages. And that is something I want to do because I believe there's so many women out there that still need to hear the lessons I've learned in my life. And what's the purpose of my life if I don't share those lessons? And so I feel very passionate about this. I'm going to start speaking up more and sharing. If this message resonated with you and you want to learn how I do my journals and manifestations, or you want to hear stories of the craziest things I have manifested, I'll share more on this channel, but I'll also be sharing more about challenges I've overcome and the lessons I've learned on those journeys. So thank you so much for taking your time today to tune in, and I cannot wait to hear about all the things that you manifest in your life. Bye.